Hey, what's up guys? This is TBone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So in today's episode, I'm going to be doing a preview of the upcoming event called Sentinels of Korelis. It is a light commander event that has chaotic killer boost. And so I'm going to take a look at the cards themselves, and we're also going to open a few tiers and see what we get, and hopefully I can showcase how it works. So let's go ahead and open up a few tiers here so that we can see if we can get the cards to show you how they all work. So let's go ahead and open up. I think we can go up to tier 4. And so let's go ahead and see what we get. So after last event where I pulled really good cards, I'll be happy if I can get anything at all. And we got the event card as our first pull, which is good. So that's Unstoppable Quack. And so that is a good card on its own because it's a really good power gen spawner. Now let's go ahead to tier 2 and see what we can get here. So we're expecting one support card and anything else that the vault might give us. So I'm going to take a look here. So we have our Lumi, which is the support card. And I think I actually got 2 support cards in the pulls here. And I got an ultra rare, which is Apollo, which, back in the day was a very powerful card that created power gem 1s based on corrupt intent or Fable intensity. So we got 2 support cards here. So far we got 2 supports and 1 event card. Overall, not too bad from a silver reward perspective. Let's go to tier 3. So we're expecting to get 1 relic here. And then let's see what else we get. So we got a saber, targa, and then hammer. So here is the relic, Sentinel Solar Axe. Okay. And then we have also our keys. So tier 3 is, as you would expect, it is a card that, it's as we expect, it's basically our guarantee. So we're going to go one more tier here, and then I do have enough coins to craft. And so the question is whether or not it's going to be worth crafting. And I will tell you that my plan is to craft the team because I have a pretty strong fire card already. And we ended up getting the ultra rare card here, Glacial Goddess. So that's really good because now I can just craft the Master Collection card and I'll be able to get the full team, and then I can showcase how it works. And then here is the second relic, also Sentinel Solar Axe. So let's go ahead and go through the rewards here. So then got my third relic. So that is, and then there's the guaranteed quack. So basically, so far, also really good pulls. I've got 1 ultra rare card, 2 event cards, 2 relics, and 1 ultra rare. So this is a strong tier 4 pull right here. All right, and so we're gonna stop right here. This is 4 tiers, and we're going to go ahead and craft our team. The reason I will also be crafting is, well, number 1, I need to be able to test it out. And also because I am able to get the shiny master. And so let's go ahead and collect all of our tokens first, and then we're going to go ahead and craft the Master Collection card. And so let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be Prometheus, Father of Flame. So we'll go ahead and craft using 42 coins. And now that I've claimed it, I'm going to go ahead and get the I'm not going to craft that. Let's go ahead and forge our ultimate form. And then I will be able to get the shiny. I just need to make sure that I get my Quack leveled up first. Okay, so we went ahead and upgraded Quack to 6 stars. And so let's go ahead and pick up our shiny collection, Master Collection card. So now we have the full team here. So I've got 1 ultra rare card. We got a 6-star Quack. Got the ultimate form and 2 Master Collection cards. So now let's take a look at the deck in action, but before that, let's explore the battle skills first. And I'm going to quickly go through these and explain what they are. So we have Lumi, the support card, which has a basic support battle skills that we expect. Heals for 5,000% and creates 4 light gems, but its passive ability is pretty good in that it will create 1 light power gem 1 at the start of each turn, and if enemies are burning, then it'll create 1 more. So there's a possibility for it to create 2 power gems every single turn with without conditions, and then 2 if you set the enemies on fire or burning. And we're going to talk about what that means. So as far as support cards go, it is a little bit better because of that passive ability. Then we have Unstoppable Quack, which to me I believe that the power of this card is pretty good. It's a pretty good event card in that it creates 4 light power gem 3s, and then for every 200 chaotic killer intensity, it creates an additional one. Now it is kind of slow, but it does have ability to create additional power gems. And in all of the event cards that we've seen to date, really, few will be able to match it in sort of the power that it can help you with. And so I think that this is a good card to help provide damage. Even if you don't have the event team, I think this is a good card to have in your arsenal. Now let's take a look at the Master Collection card, which is Prometheus, Father of Flame. So far, all of the battle skills have been pretty straightforward, except this one's going to be a little bit confusing. The battle skill is pretty easy. It creates 5 light power gem 4s, and then for every 100 chaotic killing intensity, it creates another one, right? So 100 killing intensity, you get another power gem when you activate. But it has a passive ability called Afterburn. What this does is when the hero attacks, so only when this card attacks, not the whole team, when this card attacks, it will then set the enemy on fire and then burn them for 50% of the damage over 3 turns. So what that means is when you attack, this particular card will deal 50% of that particular card's damage, and it will do that for 3 turns straight. But because you can attack every single turn, what that effectively means is you're going to be able to stack the amount of damage that you do over the course of the 3 turns. So the first turn, let's say you deal 10 billion damage. You're going to deal 5 billion for 3 turns straight. Then the next turn, let's say you deal for 20 billion. Then you're going to deal 10 billion damage for the next 3 turns. But you already have set up that 3 turns of 5 billion damage. So on turn 2, you're dealing the 5 billion from your previous turn and the 10 billion from this turn. And then the next turn after that, you're going to stack it 3 times. So the maximum that you could potentially deal is 150% of your damage, assuming that you damage the same all 3. Let's say you deal 10 billion turn 1, 10 billion turn 2, 10 billion turn 3, right? 50% of that is 5. Then what that means is at the end of your 3rd turn, you're always going to be dealing 15 billion damage as sort of at that afterburn. So that's how you can think about what afterburn means. And for every Master Collection card you have, you will have that ability. All right. And then we have the ultra rare card Glacial Goddess. So Glacial Goddess is one where you don't really use it for its battle skill. So you can see it just increases all of the cards in the wave by 1. So that is a nice thing in that it doesn't just stop one card, it stops all the cards. It gives a 1 turn delay, but it has a 6 turn cooldown. So you're not really going to be using this very, very often. Instead, you're counting on the passive ability. So this passive ability will create 3 light power gem 3s. And if enemies are burning, so after you attack with the Master Collection card in your hand, in your deck, you're going to then instead create 4 power gem 3s. And then for every 150 chaotic killer intensity, you're going to create 1 more. And so you're going to be creating additional power gems as long as you can keep attacking. As long as you keep attacking, you're going to passively create more. So at this point, you don't really need to do anything. You don't need to use your battle skill to actually create anything. And that is the reason why the battle skill is so weak. Then Starborn Sentinels is the ultimate form, which has the same battle skill in that it will give, it has a 6 turn cooldown, but it's a 1 turn delay for all enemies on the board. But the passive ability, there's actually 2 of them. So the first one is the same as the ultra rare card, where you create 3 power gem 5s, okay, at the beginning of every turn. And then if enemies are burning, then it creates 4 instead. And then for every 150 chaotic intensity, it'll create 1 additional one. So this is really where the power is at. The passive ability to just create power gems every single turn is what makes a deck more versatile. Not necessarily more powerful, because it really depends on the boost that you can get, but it's definitely much more versatile and you can use it in more situations. The passive ability for Afterburn is the same, where this card will deal 50% of its own damage for 3 turns straight, just like I described. So what we're going to do is we're going to showcase this deck in action against a level 28 entropy. So we're going to be showing the battle skills and how they work, and we're going to talk about also the afterburn. All right, so the goal here isn't to try and take the boss out. We're just going to try and understand how this works. So we did an attack, and now you see afterburn, and we see some numbers showing above the boss also. And notice that we have a bunch of power gems that's just spawning here. That is from the ultimate form and the ultra rare passively spawning 4 power gems each. All right, and if you take a look at the number of zeros that have popped up there, we saw 4 of them show up. And if we attack one more time, we should expect to see 6 numbers show up, because we are now stacking the number of damage for our 2 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see there's 6 numbers that show up, and the reason why you're seeing them as zeros is because I'm only dealing 1 damage every time I attack due to the armor. And when they do 50% of the damage, it just rounds down to 0. All right. And now what we have here is we've got, I'm just going to go up to 150 intensity, and then we will see. We're going to go up to 150 intensity. We're going to see additional power gems being spawned by our cards. And I'm also going to use the battle skills of Prometheus as well as Quack here. So we're at 144. So we're just going to wait for one more turn here, and then we're going to see. So you can see so far, I haven't even used my battle skill, and I'm already able to generate some good power gems. But the trick here is going to be managing the number of power gems that we can keep on the board with Gem Crush. So with Gem Crush in place, it's really difficult to manage, because like if you spawn too many, then they're going to simply crush down into a single row of power gems. And so it's going to be this deck. I think you're still going to have to manage the difference between this between your passive ability and also your battle skills. So I think the power here really is going to be from the passive ability though. So in my opinion, I think having more ultra rare cards is going to feel more powerful, because you're going to spawn more power gems every single turn. Just like the Making You deck, it's going to give you that many more power gems every single turn. So now let's take this team for a spin against a Dark Defender in Guild vs. Guild. And I'm using Quack as a leader in this case so that I could take advantage of the 400% damage boost in Guild vs. Guild fights. I also kept the support card in here because it is nice to have that passive gem spawn from the support card. Every little bit of power gems that you can have on the board will help overall, especially when it's passive. And so let's take a look here. So we can see that we also get some Gem Crush here. We have our 3 Power Gem 5s that we see here. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of a advantage by creating some more Power Gems from Quack. All right, and let's just go ahead and do a Power Gem swap right now and see how much damage you can do. So 57 multiplier, and we're able to take out the boss on the first try. All right, now pay attention here. Notice that the burning or the afterburn status is gone, but we still have 4 total Power Gem 5s. So this is how you can tell that the ability of creating additional Power Gems is still in effect, even though you defeat a boss and the afterburn status is gone in a wave format. It's just that, you know, you have to keep attacking the enemy for the afterburn to take an effect, but the enemy still counts as being burned, and so you still get the additional power gem, which is very important to note. All right, and so looking at this board here, I don't have a lot of very good connections, so I'm going to go ahead and do my power gem swap here, and I'm going to connect this. And so we're going to be able to take out the second boss also. And so you can sort of see here, overall, I think that, you know, this team as it is, because of it's because of the Gem Crush. Because of Gem Crush, you're gonna be able to get a lot more higher level gems. But in this particular case, it's just that there's Power Gem 5s on the board. All right, there's Power Gem 5s on the board, and also because of the passive spawn ability, you're getting so many Power Gems at the beginning of every turn, which you don't really get. So the only other deck that you really get this from is the Making You deck, which is another deck that I could show that is super strong, right? And so I think, you know, what this is showing here is that the deck is really strong in Guild vs. Guild, and also if you have a good Dragoon or if you have any good like relics or anything like that, then this shouldn't be a problem, right? Like you should have no problem going against a dark team. This is going to be somewhat like, you know, like the Golem's deck, where it just overpowers any single dark affinity deck here. And on top of that, you can turn delay. You can use the ultra rare card or the match or the ultimate form to do a turn delay, so that you can get yourself an additional hit if you mess up. That way you can have another turn. Keep in mind that every turn that you mess up, you can still passively spawn power gems. The only thing that will stop it is Slumber and also Gem Silence or Power Gem Silence. But Gem Silence and Power Gem Silence are both dispelled by this particular deck. So Slumber is going to be the key to stopping this deck here. So the last information I wanted to cover here before I sign off is the newsfeed. And there's two critical updates in this newsfeed here. The first one is we're going to be getting a new boss type called the villain bosses. And so the bosses are going to be using guild keys, like we need to use guild keys to take them down. And if we take down enough of them, we can unlock the Sentinel's shield. Don't know what that is just yet. I assume it could be a guild versus guild related, but I don't know. So we're gonna have to wait for the event to find out. But the other piece I think I'm that is very critical and I'm concerned about is the fact that they're going to be increasing the health in this commander event. Keep in mind that Gem Crush was introduced just last event, and so this is the very first commander event where we're going to be seeing Gem Crush in action. And so I feel like it's premature to be increasing the health already. We know that from experience, whenever they increase health, it makes it super hard for people with regular decks and don't have the event deck to be successful. And so what's going to happen to those people who don't manage to get the event deck? How are they going to be able to take advantage, of their deck? And, how are they going to be able to, are they going to be able to take advantage of the Gem Crush? Like, is it really going to help them deal enough damage to take out the boss? Without the health update, and if you just have a regular deck, is it really going to be too easy? I guess that's the question. And without taking this event to try it out, I feel like we'll never know. And now, because the health is going to be upgraded, I'm really looking for feedback from everybody to see, how do you feel about it? I'm really concerned about it, and I am definitely going to be looking for ways to build up teams that don't use the event deck to see how we can be successful and see how high we can get to. The goal is always to do at least gold or platinum bosses if you don't have the event deck, because I think that is that is sort of the baseline that I would like to cover. And so whether or not it's going to be possible for us to go through a platinum boss using regular decks, that remains to be seen. So look for more videos in the future. When the event starts, I'm going to take a look at different ideas, and also, comment down the video below. Let me know what your thoughts are. What decks are you going to go with? And I will be posting my deck ideas a couple of days after the event starts. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time.